to bring Stephen A. Smith into the conversation. First take is 16 minutes away. Why are you looking at us like that?
No, I'm looking at you.
Okay, what did I say?
All those highlights you've
Yes.
seen, and the play was the putback?
Yes, here's why. Here's why. Because I know he can jump out of the gym. I know he comes from the weak side and block shots. I know that he is a physically so strong that he looks more like a three technique than he does a basketball player. But the soft touch that he shows you there, the freakish athleticism and the ability to do that despite the brute strength, Steve, that's what I'm impressed with.
Greeny, Mike Greenberg, a pillar of the sports community.
If you say so yourself.
That's been here for decades.
Yes.
All the things that you've seen, this guy grabs a rebound and without coming down, softly puts it back.
Yes.
Without coming down first and going up. And that is the play that stood out in your mind. Like, other than all of those dunks, the steal, the breakaway dunks, the block where his head almost hit the rim.
Yes.
All right, the alley-oop where his face was at the rim. All of that stuff gets shoved aside for a nice soft
Because it was almost like he was holding a baby bird and he was returning it to the nest without touching the ground. Work with it. Jalen, do you see what I'm saying?
No, they don't see what you're saying. They don't see what you're saying, Greeny. They don't see what you're saying.
Spiraling out of control here.
Let's okay, all kidding aside, and I don't even know if you're kidding, but just what words are we using to describe Zion Williamson now?
Well, he's phenomenal. He's a man amongst boys. I think that's the phrase to use. You could see Syracuse. He's one of the rare talents that we've seen in college basketball that literally has instilled fear in his opponents. If you look at when he gets the ball down low, you're starting to see guys that just move out the way. His power is very, very evident. And even though it wasn't to that degree for who I'm about to mention, you know, we've seen a lot of great talent. Melo as a freshman was sensational, obviously. But I think about Chris Webber and what he was with you as a freshman, the Fab Five. Chris Webber, when he came onto the scene as a freshman on college basketball, he had that kind of presence. Not power, but that kind of presence.
That's why I was trying to tell people, like, Zion is a wonderful player, but who is he going to start over, Jawan or C. Webb?
Oh, no. You already lost that. You lost that. Don't let me. I had to take care of you on that one. Come on now.
That's not where he's sending you. Everything doesn't come back to the Fab Five.
Well, I didn't bring it up.
I did. I understand that. But let me ask you this. You said an interesting thing earlier today as well, that he doesn't shoot a lot from the outside. He made his only three. But his shot isn't broken. It's not that he has a bad shot. It's just not something he's developed. But it is something that he might be able to develop on the next level.
So when Ben Simmons got drafted, people thought I was crazy because I was like, I think this guy shoots with the wrong hand. If you notice, when he finishes at the hoop, or when it's a clutch situation, or his little runners or floaters are all with his right hand. But when he goes to the free throw line, he shoots with his left hand. And his jump shot is broken. Now when you look at a guy like Zion, you look at his mass and think that guy can't shoot because of opportunity. No, his shot isn't broken. He's going to get in the league when he's not going to class every day. I think he can develop a shot. It looks really good.
I think Zion is going to be an elevated version of Blake Griffin to some degree. When you talk about LeBron James, I see Ben Simmons as being a jump shot away from being LeBron James. I think if Ben Simmons develops a jump shot, it's over. I mean, it's a wrap.
But can he?
I don't know. I mean, the shot is so ugly. But they do have him posting up more. They do have him being more aggressive with his mid-range game. You see him shooting floaters now. You see him shooting a 10-foot shot now. I didn't see that last year. I'm seeing that. So there is level of improvement. But if Ben Simmons, you talk about the Greek Freak and Anthony Davis and Kevin Durant, if Ben Simmons develops a jump shot, it's over. Philadelphia, I'm just trying to tell you, it's on that kind of level.
And the one thing about Zion is, of course, he's a freak athlete, but he's coming into the league at a terrific time where positionless basketball is so very dominant and prevalent.
True.
So wherever he goes, you're going to mix and match opportunities so he can take advantage of the guy he's going against. So usually as a coach, and you correct me if I'm wrong, you can put him in matchups where he's going to be the bigger guy. You can put him in matchups where he's going to be the faster guy. So you can mask the fact that he's not a knockdown shooter just yet.
Frank Vogel, if you're coaching the team that drafts him, what is the first thing you're thinking to yourself, he brings me? This is what I'm using him for immediately when he comes in the league next year. He'll be 19 years old.
Well, the word everybody keeps talking about is the presence that he brings to the table. Just by being on the floor last night, it just changed the whole game. It changed Duke's whole demeanor. gave them confidence, and that's what it's going to do for any team that he gets drafted by.
I have to ask Stephen A. to weigh in on the moment that got a lot of attention here, and there's been some dispute in the morning on our program here, and this was the moment last night involving Frank Howard of Syracuse. Let's show that, guys, if we can here, because this takes place in the first half of the game last night, and just watch Zion's feet after the dunk. That's Frank Howard of Syracuse. He reaches the right foot out, then the hand goes out there almost as though he's trying to make sure he didn't do anything here. There's been some back and forth, Stephen A., as I know you're aware, of whether or not this is a dirty play. Is he reaching out to try and trip Zion there? I'd love to get your perspective.
I don't think he should be ejected, like I heard somebody say. I don't know if it was Jay Williams or somebody. I don't think he should be ejected, but I don't think it's definitive the way that Coach Boeheim said that he wasn't trying to do something. Clearly, it's not just that his leg was out. I think the most incriminating element is when the foot goes up. If you look at his feet, it goes up. And that's where the intent comes into question. Because it's like, okay, I'm here thinking that, you just going to defend the guy. Your leg was in the wrong place at the wrong time. Until he kicked his feet up. When he kicked his feet up, his heel was still on the ground. His heel was still on the ground, but his foot went up. Why would you do that? Now that looks far more incriminating because I didn't see that part initially.
I've done dirty plays. I've gotten flagrant fouls. That is a direct guy trying to trip somebody else. I don't want to mince words. I'm not going to sugarcoat who, what, when, and where. He tried to trip him. Now, the difference is he didn't fall. So say he falls, then we're having a different conversation. But since he did not fall, now people can elevate whether they feel like it's going to be a legitimate trip or not.
I actually tell you this, Jalen, you know what would have been worse? If he stepped on his foot. You see what I'm saying? Because then, obviously, you just trip and you fall. But if you stepped on his foot, then all of a sudden you never know what kind of damage he could have done.
That's the thing, is we're all watching him come back here and play. And again, playing like he didn't miss a beat. He played over 35 minutes last night. I think it's as many minutes as he's played in any game this year, if I saw that correctly from Hembo a little bit earlier. It didn't look like he missed a beat. But obviously, if he steps on somebody's foot or whatever it is, the whole world will come out saying, I told you so, he shouldn't have been out on the floor.
Yeah, there's no question. But you can't worry about that if you're Zion Williamson. I love the fact that he's playing, finishing out the season. I'm excited to see what he's going to be able to do in the NCAA tournament. And look, this is not the first time that somebody takes a shot at a guy that's kicking your butt in a basketball game.
Right.
I mean, this happens all the time. And
there's Hembo with the stat that I talked about earlier, his fourth most minute. Quickly, because you watch all these games. If he's fully healthy, you watched them last night, do they become the team to beat in the NCAA tournament?
They are the team to beat because you just mentioned it. Zion Williamson is a terrific player in college and a terrific prospect going forward, R.J. Barrett. But two guys' names we have not said all day. Been many people talking college basketball on this show. I haven't heard Cam Reddish's name. I haven't heard Jones, the point guard's name. Well, those two guys are going to have to play better.
I was getting ready to say that. They got to play better. That's why you haven't heard enough from them, because they ain't consistent enough. And Cam Reddish, your game is too good for you to be as inconsistent as you have been. He's got height, he's got length, and he's got a shot. He should be better. I would take Duke over the field, but I will tell you this. I am sick and tired of us talking about Duke and not talking about North Carolina. It's going to be interesting to see what happens tonight. They beat them twice without Zion. But North Carolina with Coach K coaching Team USA, getting the all-world recruits. And Roy Williams, still there, still winning as many championships this millennium, still competing with these boys. North Carolina, I got a lot of respect for what they do because they don't have the Zions of the world.
Tonight, 9 o'clock. I have to let him go. Okay. They're yelling at me. Stephen A. Show starts in 7 minutes.
We talking about Duke. That's the only team we talking about. It ain't just not talking about Carolina.
Thank you, Stephen A. Again, get up. Finishes up here, and then first take starts.
Virginia's number
in
1.
7 minutes. You're going to see them tonight. You'll see all this action tonight.
Watch Virginia tonight.
From Charlotte, Florida State, and Virginia, then Duke and Carolina. It's on ESPN, and it's on the ESPN app, so you can watch from absolutely anywhere.
Now, Virginia, y'all can't be getting.
And we'll remind you on Monday, we'll be breaking down the brackets, right? Selection Sunday comes, and we will be here Monday morning telling you who's going on in the Zion Invitational. We turn our attention from free agency to the draft with Ryan Clark and Lewis Riddick. And how about the Warriors and Bucks proving that